Hey, tea sippers. Hey, tea sippers. Let me see there. How we doing? How we doing? Baby, I got a little time. I was trying to, in my mind, I was going to do a upload. Shit. And every time I turned around, I was getting message here, message there. Trying to give me something to eat. It's just been crazy. So I got a little time, just a little, and I'm gonna spend on this early afternoon. Then I'm gonna be back a little later. So, oh yeah, the memoirs. Mm-mm-mm. I, I mean, and it's funny because y'all, as you come in, please hit the like button. As you come in, hit the like button. Okay. So it's exploding everywhere, and Trump trying to play cool, you know, people, family, it's just crazy. And I got a list over there of a whole bunch of people and people. Hey, Janet, on the prosecuting end, had Epstein in over for dinner while he was convicted. I mean, how you celebrating dinner? How you taking an invite, but you was the prosecuting attorney? What? Y'all all just friends. But let's go in because I don't have a lot of time. Let's go.
An explosive new book hitting the shelves today is set to heap fresh scrutiny on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Britain's Prince Andrew. Nobody's Girl is a posthumous memoir from Virginia Giuffrie. She is the woman who allegedly
That's an old picture, AunTeaFee. Let me move this.
and forced to have sex
That's
with
not what I thought
high-profile
I
men,
grabbed.
including Prince Andrew. For his part, Andrew has always denied Giuffre's allegations. She died by suicide earlier this year, but Giuffre's co-author says another powerful man came up in their conversations. Have a listen.
Did she mention President Trump at all in your discussion?
Oh, she absolutely did. She was a huge Trump fan because he campaigned on releasing the Epstein files.
Well, CNN's Salma Abdulaziz is live outside Buckingham Palace for us.
Had that poor girl believing he was going to do something for her. She believed in him.
Andrew has always denied Giuffre's allegations. Well, she died by suicide earlier. Epstein and Britain's Prince Andrew. Nobody's Girl is a posthumous memoir from Virginia Giuffrie. She is the woman who alleged she was trafficked by Epstein while underage and forced to have sex with high-profile men, including Prince Andrew. For his part, Andrew has always denied Giuffre's allegations. She died by suicide earlier this year, but Giuffre's co-author says another powerful man came up in their conversations. Have a listen.
Did she mention President Trump at all in your discussion?
Oh, she absolutely did. She was a huge Trump fan because he campaigned on releasing the Epstein files.
CNN's Salma Abdulaziz
Let her down, didn't he?
Buckingham Palace for us with the details from this brand new book. And
his lies let her down. She believed that man.
Prince Andrew, one that he has, of course, strongly denied.
I think a lot of what you see in her memoir here, Nobody's Girl, Becky, is not necessarily that the broad strokes are new to us. These accusations against Prince Andrew have been around for many years now. It is the harrowing details, it is the blow-by-blow account that sends shivers down your spine. She describes the first time that she was meeting Prince Andrew being told, allegedly, in her words, by Maxwell, that today, like a Cinderella, she would meet her Prince Charming, and that they went out shopping that day, and that she very specifically picked an outfit that was these sparkly jeans with a pink top because she was a teenager and she wanted to wear what teenagers do. And she looked at the outfit
Hey,
and thought
Prime
that's something
Minister.
that Britney Spears might wear. And to now know that outfit and remember that infamous image.
Being a little
What
girl.
teenagers do. And she looked at the outfit and thought that's something that Britney Spears might wear. And to now know that outfit and remember that infamous image from 2001 that was published across British tabloids, allegedly again of her and Prince Andrew, you get an understanding of just how young she says she was at the time. She even recalls that Prince Andrew was asked to guess her age during this first meeting, during this initial meeting, and that he accurately described it as 17 years old. And I want to read you an excerpt from the book here as to what happened in that conversation next, according to her. My daughters are just a little younger than you, he told me, explaining his accuracy. As usual, Maxwell was quick with a joke. I guess we'll have to trade her in soon. And it's those tiny details
Guess
that
we'll
I think
have to trade
will
her
shock and
in
horrify
soon
readers of
because
this
she
nearly
would be too
400-page
old.
book. Now, Prince Andrew
Do
vehemently
y'all
denies any of
understand
the
that? That means
accusations
she would have been
against
too
him next,
old.
according to her. My daughters are just a little younger than you, he told me, explaining his accuracy. As usual, Maxwell was quick with a joke. I guess we'll have to trade her in soon. And it's those tiny details that I think.
Y'all remember Tea Sippers when we had the undercover agent, and he said that they wanted them to be a certain age and they wanted them to have what word did he use? No mileage, but he said it in another way. No mileage, and if they kind of had too much mileage or were too old or what have you, then if they were little kids, they had a way of having that surgery to reverse or make it appear like reset the mileage. I remember that. And that also reminds me of another situation with that check that they had with Trump, that big check on the golf course, and saying that he was paying for a older person or somebody who had a lot of miles on him. I can't think of the word, but it's just a way that they have it where either they have to be below a certain age, feel like or appear like they didn't have any mileage, and the dollar amount for them comes down if they're either older or have a lot of mileage on them. It's crazy.
Will shock and horrify readers of this nearly 400-page book. Now, Prince Andrew vehemently denies any of the accusations against him. He says he's never even met Virginia Giuffrie, but he did settle a civil lawsuit, reportedly for millions of dollars, with her in 2022. And only a week ago, he relinquished his royal titles, including the Duke of York. He has, for some time now, stepped away from public duty, stepped away from royal life. And all of that, of course, is an attempt to protect Buckingham Palace, just behind me here, from this controversy, from this terrible details in this book. But it is sure to only draw more scrutiny and more questions, and already more investigations. One of the accusations she makes against Prince Andrew is that he allegedly harassed her as she came to file that civil suit against him in New York, sent trolls upon her. That's the way she describes it. And now there are reports in British media that Prince Andrew asked a police officer, a member of his close protection team, a bodyguard essentially, to dig up dirt on Virginia. And that is an accusation that now the Met Police says it is actively looking into. So a saga, again, this book published 6 months after she died of suicide, after Virginia Giuffrie died of suicide, but the saga very much continues, and the accusations and the fallout continue, and so does the attention on Buckingham Palace. Becky.
Hold on, I got another one set up. I have them in order for real this time. Yeah, I know the fallout battery is severe at Buckingham Palace. Yeah, how do you shake it? How do you make it disappear? You can't. You cannot make it disappear. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Not at all. Let's catch this one. This is her
in the book, if
co-writer.
only one person feels less alone, it will be a success for me. So he was in the houses. He was on the jets. He was on the island. And he could
Human
come
trafficking.
forward and help investigators. Somebody said to Prince Andrew, enough is enough.
Speaking of Liz, Prime Minister Chris. Speaking of Liz. Hold on. Speaking of Liz.
That's in the book. If only one person feels less alone.
Hold on, precious. Speaking of Liz. Hold on. How can I show this to y'all? When I say this is just a small list. Believe me when I say this. It is absolutely a small list. Okay? Hold on. I'm trying to do this. I'm just going to scroll down. And so that you know, yes, Trump's name is here. Right there. It is a whole list. And some of them on here were the prosecuting team. I mean, where did they, how could the prosecutors that was supposed to be putting you in jail, how are they on your list, and how are they being invited to dinner? Oh yeah, it's a whole list. It's a whole list. You understand? A whole list. Hey, Reflections with Kimberly. So since you said list, oh yeah, there's a whole list. Okay, and it's a list that what they say just keep on giving. Who is this person? He was found unalive. As I'm looking at it, I'm trying to not to go too fast. Who are you? Oh, that was country singer. Epstein's attorney. He was, yeah. All of y'all. TV executive, stylist, Harvard psychologist. Yeah. Well, let me get back to the story because I don't have a lot of time. Saudi Arabia man of mystery. John Kerry, Ted Kennedy, Ethel. Karine who? Sarah. Yeah, I mean, since you brought up Liz, I just, I couldn't help myself because I got it parked over here. But I just don't have enough time right now on this go round, and I need for y'all to get the likes up. You know how them likes are very important to me. My research is intense. I just don't grab anything, so it's up to y'all. I've been sitting on stuff for a while. Y'all just don't have no earthly idea how in tune I am. But let's go.
It will be a success for me. So we're hoping that that's how it's received.
And obviously, it tells of very dark parts of her life, right from childhood onwards. To the terrible abuse by Epstein and how she was trafficked. I wonder if she would feel, do you think, some validation that Publishing Day is here posthumously for her and that this message is about to reach a much wider audience.
Yes, well, you have clearly read the book, so you know that I wrote a preface to the book.
Michelob Ultra Zero.
It's horrible.
Zero alcohol, ultra smooth taste.
And then you have the nerve to be trying
I
to
went
act
to
like
Australia in October. It was my second visit there, to be with her and go over the final manuscript one last time. And while I was there, she approved the manuscript, the cover image, the cover
I'm sorry, that's me.
title, all of those things. And then the holidays happened, and then we were preparing for publication. And then in April, she died. So I felt, and we all felt, the team that had been involved in the book, that it was important that we help the reader understand what had happened basically between finishing the book, locking the book in October of last year, and publishing it now. And so there's a preface that talks about her hopes for the book. She wrote me an email just a few weeks before she died saying, in the case of my passing, it's important that this book be published. Please publish it. So that is also in the preface. People can read the entire email. So yes, she was thinking a lot about and hoping for the publication of the book to do a couple of things. You know, survivors, and particularly in this case, Epstein and Maxwell, the people who they hurt, and believe me, Maxwell is just as guilty of hurting as Epstein, which we can discuss. But the survivors in this case have been asked not just to come forward bravely the first.
She groomed her, and she tricked her. She tricked her in a way that a man couldn't trick her. She tricked her in a way of nurture and love that she probably longed for. I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is hard for me, not because I know it personally, only because I can imagine. Only because I can imagine somebody who had already been violated at home. So something was off already. So here come this almost world-renowned 5-language speaking family of a typhoon, rubbing elbows with all of the higher elites, telling me, schooling me, telling me what I needed to do to help elevate me. I'm thinking from higher to a better life. Oh, it's your prince. Oh, this is all you've ever dreamed of. Oh my God, your dreams are coming true. Let's go shopping today. I mean, all of that. Just to feed her to wolves. She was a sheep. And her handler fed her to wolves. Devastating. It is devastating to me. This is why I will not tolerate anybody over here re-victimizing victims. Just absolutely not. They were wolves in sheep clothing. They want these young kids to tell them everything about them. What are your hopes, dreams, and desires? Feed them that on a platter. And then traffic them. See, Diddy knows. Y'all see now, I'm coming back. I'm coming back with TMZ. I already got a thumbnail ready. Yeah. Diddy know. It's finna get ugly. It's finna get ugly, baby. I've been trying to warn the tea sippers that they all in that together. I've been trying to get y'all to understand that. People thinking, oh, she don't know what she talking about. It's a conspiracy. She just talking. She don't know. They don't have nothing to do with the other. Shit. You a lie. That's exactly why the White House, the Department of Justice is saying, Trump, please don't. Not right now. Please. Don't even touch her. And on top of that, somebody that you've already pardoned from the September 6th, a couple of them have gotten rearrested again. Some of them trafficking. You turn up the White House, you doing this, that, and the other. You are totally unhinged. And shame on the Senate and Congress having us in limbo because they don't want to expose this bullshit. Shame on them. Oh, I forgot. Some of them are in there. Y'all already stealing from us. Give these victims some validation. This young girl right here took her life in April, believing in Trump, believing in him and Elon. How dare y'all? So you want to say you wasn't on the island? Oh no, I wasn't. He stole her from. This young girl believed that you was gonna do right by her, and you failed. You failed again. You're a failure. And I don't care how many times you do something spitefully, you're still a failure. You're going to be a failure until your ass is out of the White House and in jail. You are a failure.
Time, not just to tell law enforcement over and over again about what they suffered, but then to continue repeating on demand the most terrible things that have happened to them in their lives. And Virginia wanted and hoped for that if we could put her story between the two covers of a book, then she could put it on a bookshelf, and whenever anyone going forward in her life said, tell me about that time when Prince Andrew abused you that first time, she could say, I respect your need to know those details. They're important for you to know. Please go to my book. And I'm no longer in the business of repeating. You don't have to buy it. You can take it out of the library. But we are hoping that you can get the most careful, supremely accurate, nuanced telling of her story in the book. And the idea was that she could then move forward into her life and stop replaying the past and become the full-time advocate that she was hoping to be.
So, some of the claims clearly in this book are contested. For example, Prince Andrew has denied even knowing Virginia Giuffrie. Certainly denies many of the allegations, all of the allegations in that book.
Absolutely, Janet.
What is your judgment about the accuracy of Virginia's memories?
I've worked with her for 4 years. She told me everything she could remember about her life and what she cared about and who she was with and where she was. The thing she always said to me about her memory was, I may not remember particular dates, times, days of the week, but I remember, as you would, if there's a man on top of you raping you and his face is 6 inches from your own, you remember that face. I would also say that I was very impressed because I did a lot of the work of corroborating her story. We didn't just tape record interviews, transcribe them, and edit them down to a book. We talked to a lot of people in her life and people who could corroborate or were in various places when she was there. And her memories stacked up. So my own reporting corroborated her stories. And finally, I would say her very own lawyers were very meticulous about trying to help her identify who she had and hadn't been trafficked to. Remember, a lot of the time, these young girls were sent in.
Hold on, before I forget this one. Listen to this one. He dined.
Let's go ahead and put this up here on the screen. This was from a new release by the House Oversight Committee, which detailed a bunch of new.
Oh yeah, let me get to this one. I'll come back to.
Who was the prosecutor who ended up giving Epstein his sweetheart deal? Julie K. Brown, huge shout out to her from the Miami Herald. She's been covering this stuff from day one, and I look to her always for some of her.
Can y'all hear?
She has even
or do I need to put it?
Turning out to Epstein, we didn't have
put it
time
on
to
the
get
front.
into this, and it actually is worth fully going through all of the new information. Let's go ahead and put this up here on the screen. This was from a new release by the House Oversight Committee, which detailed a bunch of new Epstein files, as well as an interview with Alex Acosta, who was the prosecutor who ended up giving Epstein his sweetheart deal. Julie K. Brown, huge shout out to her from the Miami Herald. She's been covering this stuff from day one, and I look to her always for some of her information. She has even more detailed knowledge of the case than I do. What she was able to uncover is that Matthew Menschel, who was the chief of the criminal division of the Miami U.S. Attorney Office and helped negotiate Epstein's sweetheart deal, which allowed him to be released in 2009, is listed multiple times as having dinner and meetings with Epstein after leaving the U.S. Attorney's Office. So this is a huge bombshell because this is years after his release.
Oh, before
this is
you go on to that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is for context for later. Yeah. Notice on that one, 11:30 appointment with Leon Black.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll get back to that.
Put that one in your pocket.
Don't worry.
Same day.
I'm coming back to Leon.
Same day.
All right. Leon. Yes, but on the same day, having dinner with Matt Menschel, the very same prosecutor who was part of the office. In what world is that
part of the office?
You helped lock somebody away, allegedly, even with the sweetheart deal, for a registered.
Hold on, let me put that up. Hold on.
It's Amanda Knox stuff right here.
Yeah, or even at a human level.
Hold on.
Brian, would
let
you
me put
ever
that up.
go into the house of somebody?
Who goes into a pedo's house?
This is my thing. Like,
he knows because he prosecuted him.
And he's a prosecutor. Hold on, y'all. Why is this not stopping?
Maybe it's just
oh.
I Google everybody who asked me that. Okay, and if you're even remotely sketchy, like it's not happening.
It ain't happening. I wish I would go to a pedo's house, male or female. I wouldn't care what type of pedo you are. I just got an old picture I pulled up today. There you go. That's me a few years ago, a long time ago, maybe 7 years ago. Let's check that out. Cause can you imagine? Prosecutor. A prosecutor who prosecuted him a few years prior. Hell, was he still supposed to be, or it must have been his first go around? Hold on, let's go. You at his house, having a cocktail, eating dinner with a convicted pedo, human trafficking. Y'all see? These are good old boys. So when Trump said that time in his deposition that they've been aping females for the last 1,000 years, he meant that. That's what they do. That's a part of making America great again. Where they could take, if for whoever that was saying I don't have no real hair, there you go. That's mine. That was mine a few years ago. Yeah. I don't color my hair like that no more. But yeah. So that's what they do. Let's listen.
Get into this, and it actually is worth fully going through all of the new information. Let's go ahead and put this up here on the screen. This was from a new release by the House Oversight Committee, which detailed a bunch of new Epstein files, as well as an interview with Alex Acosta, who was the prosecutor who ended up giving Epstein his sweetheart deal. Julie K. Brown, huge shout out to her from the Miami Herald. She's been covering this stuff.
Shout out to
from
Julie
day
Brown.
one, and I look
Shout out to
her
Breaking
always
Point
for some of her information. She has even more detailed knowledge of the case than I do. What she was able to uncover is that Matthew Menschel, who was the chief of the criminal division of the Miami U.S. Attorney Office and helped negotiate Epstein's sweetheart deal, which allowed him to be released in 2009, is listed multiple times as having dinner and meetings with Epstein after leaving the U.S. Attorney's Office. So this is a huge bombshell because this is years after his release.
Oh, before
this is
you
a
go on to that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is for context for later.
Yeah.
Notice on that one, 11:30 appointment with Leon Black.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll get back to that.
Put that one in
yeah,
your pocket.
Don't worry.
Same day.
I'm coming back to Leon.
Same day.
All right. Leon, yes, but on the same day, having dinner with Matt Menschel, the very same prosecutor who was part of the office. In what world is that appropriate? You helped lock somebody away, allegedly, even with the sweetheart deal, for a registered sex offender.
He wasn't, and see, that's the problem. He wasn't locked away. He was able to leave for 10 to 12 hours in a day. Go, parlay, steal, traffic, steal, ape, them young girls.
3 years later, it's like, do you have any, semblance of making sure?
Flower in her hair? What do you mean? Oh, for heaven's sakes. What's that for? What's that oh, for heaven's sakes for? What part is that for? And did you hit the like button coming in? If not, please do so.
No conflict of interest. And
it's Amanda Knox stuff right here.
Yeah, or even at a human level. Brian, would you ever knowingly go into the house of somebody who is a registered sex offender?
Hell no.
Yeah, exactly. All right? And this is my thing. Like,
and he knows because he prosecuted him.
I always think about this with guys like George Stephanopoulos and others who are like, yeah, I had dinner with him. I go, maybe it's just me. I Google everybody who asked me to have dinner, okay? And if you're even remotely sketchy, I'm like, yeah, it's not happening. And I can tell you I've been invited to some sketchy stuff around here.
Better start checking on these people. I don't care if they celebrities or not.
I don't know. Who's paying for this, right? It's one of those where there's some blood money here on the table. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Or I'll split the bill with you if I think it's interesting. That's the thing where apparently I'm a YouTuber and I hold myself to that standard. And these guys are like, oh yeah, I prosecuted you. And even though you're a registered sex offender, I'm just going to go ahead and I helped lock you away. I'm going to go over to your house for dinner.
And it's probably not with
free dinner at the big house with the massage table in the foyer. Oh, hell yeah. What's for dinner? What we drinking? What we eating? Who coming? Who on the guest list? Yeah, they going.
I don't know about him specifically, but it's probably not even though or despite. It's because.
There you go.
Because he knows the details of what Epstein is into.
A brother would get 7. You ain't never lying on
He probably investigated. He probably had some of his tax returns.
Get out every day.
He goes, yo, I need to get in on this. It's like,
from a prison or jail?
Right here. By the way, speaking of that, as Ryan said, hold for Leon Black. Leon, I've talked about Leon from day one in the Epstein case. It remains one of the most mystifying. This is one of the titans of Wall Street. $9 billion net worth. $150 million payment to the Giuffrie Epstein estate that has been revealed for, quote, tax advice. Nobody knows why. He's been friends with him for decades. He's defended his relationship with Epstein, said he had no idea, put him on the board of his charities, decades-long friendship. Well, Leon's emails with Giuffrie Epstein came out, and they're pretty interesting, aren't they? They say Epstein was furious. For years, he had relied on Leon Black as his primary source of income, advising him on everything from taxes to his world-class art collection. By 2016, Black seemed reluctant to keep paying him tens of millions of dollars per year, so Epstein threw a tantrum. Epstein wrote in an email to Mr. Black, quote, he was another waste of money and space, attacked Mr. Black's children as retarded for supposedly making for making men of his estate. The typo-ridden tirade was one of dozens of previously unreported emails reviewed by the New York Times in which Epstein hectored Mr. Black, demanding tens of millions of dollars beyond the $150 million he had already been paid. The pressure campaign, Ryan, appeared to work. Mr. Black, for decades, who was one
one of the richest and most high-profile figures on Wall Street, forked tens of millions of dollars in fees and loans, albeit less than Mr. Epstein had been seeking. Of all the relationships, his friendship with Mr. Black is the most important. He served jail time for soliciting prostitution. Mr. Black kept him afloat for many years. The new emails provide the most complete picture yet of their relationship. Now, to be clear, for legal purposes, and with Mr. Black, I am simply noting how shocking it is for a titan of Wall Street, a private equity giant, one of the most well-known billionaires in the city of New York, how completely opposite it is to the way that the Apollo Group and others would conduct business, to seemingly constantly just caving to demands for tens of millions of dollars from Giuffrie. That's all I am noting. You can draw your own conclusion very specifically as to why anybody would ever act like that who made $9 billion and doesn't conduct business that way in any other.
Similar tone, and Black denies all things.
Yeah, he Black.
Y'all, please double tap your face of your screen and get the likes up, please.
They write, and this is one of those delightful sentences in the New York Times, echoing Sagar, and, quote, and for reasons that are unknown, Mr. Black wired hundreds of thousands of dollars to at least 3 women who were associated with Mr. Epstein, according to court documents and notes taken by congressional investigators that were shared with the Times. Representatives of Mr. Black did not respond to questions about those payments to women. So in other words, representatives responded to a bunch of other questions that the Times sent, but ignored those questions. So I like this phrase. For reasons that are unknown, Mr. Black wired hundreds of thousands of dollars to at least 3 women. We don't know why.
Yeah, they are.
Just good friends.
Remain unknown to this day.
Good friends.
Well, y'all, any of y'all wealthy friends, can y'all wire me hundreds and thousands of dollars?
It happens. It happens. You know, who amongst us has not floated our friends' girlfriends, right? I mean,
with hundreds of thousands.
With hundreds of thousands of dollars. I do it every day. Right? Of course.
And totally. And we're going to insinuate something about that. That's outrageous.
That's right. Exactly. I'm sure my wife would be cool with it. Right? She'd be totally cool with it. So here's my other personal favorite from Mr. Black's lawyer. To imply Mr. Epstein somehow had influence over Mr. Black is false and patently absurd. Okay? To imply Mr. Epstein, who demanded tens of millions of dollars and received tens of millions of dollars and called his children retarded and also hectored and berated him, to imply he had any influence over Mr. Black is false and patently absurd. That's from Leon Black. Again, these guys, you think you just get $9 billion? You think somebody just hands it to you? No, you get it by being a swashbuckling deal maker. What if I was running the Apollo? By the way, these guys are legends on Wall Street, right? Apollo. Does Apollo just let somebody who they're doing a leverage buyout of demand certain terms of conditions? Is that how you got $9 billion in net worth? No, you would be a bankrupt, right? So we know he knows how to do business. And to say no, how to say fuck you, that's literally part of being a Wall Street financer. And he did event. Well, yeah, we can get to that. Like, ish. But the point remains, something for reasons that remain unknown, that he continued to hand in tens of millions of dollars. Okay. All right, let's go to the next part here. This gets to the interview with Alex Acosta. I read the entire thing, several hundred pages.
I don't know what squash. I don't know what that is. Yeah, you speaking in a language I don't understand. Swashbuckling.
Kind of boring, to be honest. They didn't do a
I don't know
job.
what that is.
But guys, please put D3, please, up on the screen just to show you. The signature claim from Alex Acosta is that any trial of Giuffrie Epstein, quote, would have been a crapshoot. Now, this is a central issue because remember, Alex Acosta was a labor secretary under Trump. He was the prosecutor who did the sweetheart deal with Epstein. After he resigns as a labor secretary, the Office of Professional Review over the Justice Department does an internal investigation of the Epstein non-prosecution agreement. They find that Alex Acosta and his office acted improperly. Now, Acosta contends throughout this entire interview that he did nothing wrong and that he got the best possible deal. Now remember, the retroactive review by the DOJ specifically says that is not true. So they find fault with the actions of his office. Acosta stands up for the actions of his office, saying, effectively blaming the victim, saying, oh, well, they weren't credible enough to be able to bring them to trial. By the way, remember, that is in direct contravention of what some of the agents and the other people on the case said. So this is not 100% the view of the entire U.S. Attorney's Office. It is the view of Mr. Acosta. I will say, because there have been some sketchy questions here around the claim.
Okay, so flower in your hair. I'm going to go ahead and remove you to the day because it appears that you are talking off topic. And, well, now I'm going to go ahead and just remove you because me and Janet has asked you and you act like you can't respond. So maybe you in the wrong chat and you just didn't realize it. So y'all say bye to flower in her hair. Bye, flower. Yeah, you see we reaching out to you. You don't ignore neither one of me or her. I know you in the wrong place.
He said he belonged to intelligence. He claims that he never said that. He says, I never said it. So I want to make that very clear. Because that's a quote I've relied on in the past.
It's one of the,
probably one of the most famous claims.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear that he now emphatically denies. He said, I never heard that from anybody. I didn't tell it to Steve Bannon. I have no idea where that comes from. So let's be clear. That's what he said. Now, I've laid out my other case for why I do think he was at the very least involved with multiple foreign intelligence agencies. But nonetheless, Alex Acosta says there was nothing untoward. I never had any indication he was intelligence or whatever. Nobody told me what to do, which, by the way, again, that doesn't fit with some of the past timeline. Like the previous timeline was that Washington actually made a phone call around this from the DOJ, but you have to get very dark and into the weeds on this. I think the fundamental premise, though, is even if we take all the intel stuff out of it and we just keep it focused on the victims, he basically was victim blaming throughout the entire thing. He said, yeah, they weren't credible, they made stuff up, MySpace page, they were sketchy, and so that's why this sweetheart deal is the best that we could possibly get. Again, that's totally disputed. So his mindset around it does not seem conciliatory at all. He still continues to defend his conduct, Ryan, which I personally find disgusting. Intelligence, now, if anything, it's worse. I'm like, oh, so you just, they didn't believe them. He even says in there, he goes, well, the times were different. People didn't believe women at that time. I was like, so you're blaming the culture?
Oh, wow.
What is this? It was crazy.
And if you look through his emails and the different appointments that he had, what you realize is that Jeffrey Epstein knew everybody. Like he had pull with Russian oligarchs, top Russians, the Israelis, Europeans, Americans in both parties, and also Wall Street and like the banking world. Like he was at the middle of all of this stuff, and he had people who owed him and who he was willing to berate at the top levels everywhere.
Blackmail.
And so the idea that at minimum he didn't call in favors and that his powerful friends didn't do anything for him just is not remotely credible.
Yep.
Like that, even if you dismiss the intel part, but also to me the intel part is a bit of a red herring, because what we found going through all of these emails, he was absolutely doing work for people that are in the orbits of this intel world.
Which only backs up everything that we've said.
Yeah.
Is no one has said he was an agent for.
That's not how the world works.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we kept trying to explain. There are these fixers. There are these shady characters. If you live here in D.C., you're familiar with them. They do contracts for Russia. They do contracts for Qatar.
Right.
For the UAE. They're hired guns. They have nexuses. They have foreign bank accounts. They have a special knowledge. What's the taken language? It's like a very specific set of skills that they have. And so, yeah, you guys released that report at Traff.
A lot of intel, a lot of CIA stuff.
They're convenient actors who can just insert themselves in the process.
Epstein started out working with Adnan Khashoggi.
Exactly.
Khashoggi is CIA.
A literal CIA cutout. It's like this is it's trying to explain this to people who deny it is they are relying on willful ignorance and the definition of terms which are fake. Like no one has ever said he was an agent for
card.
Here's his literal ID bank.
Wait, actually, didn't the head of Mossad tell Barry Weiss that he wasn't?
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
No, never mind. Sorry.
Thank you.
We apologize.
We shout out to the editor-in-chief of CBS News for her great journalism.
She settled this one.
She settled the question. Settled the question. Finally, let's put this one up here on the screen with the appropriate caveat. This is a new book, a memoir come out from Virginia Giuffrie. Remember, one of the most prominent victims of Jeffrey Epstein. She did, unfortunately, take her own life recently. She lived a very troubled life. She famously was pictured in that photo with Prince Andrew. And in her new memoir, which was posthumously released, she says she was, quote, beaten, raped by a well-known prime minister in an attack that broke the Epstein spell, her memoir reveals. Now, Ryan, you will be shocked to learn that the New York Post said well-known prime minister and did not name the country.
Oh, New York Post's its journalistic skills failed it finally.
What happened with that, right? Which prime minister? Who was it? And in fact, it doesn't even appear in the lead paragraph. You have to go all the way down past 3 different advertisements to say that in past, however, she had pointed to Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Now, to be clear, Mr. Barak denies it, and also to be clear, yes, Virginia Giuffrie was a very troubled woman, and she did certainly say some things in the past which did not turn out to be true.
Or that she's retracted.
Or that she has retracted.
Yeah.
But yeah, which she personally has retracted. So all appropriate caveats, and all of that said, you should not necessarily take it to the bank. But the one thing nobody can ever get away from is the photo exists of her as a very young girl with her arm around Prince Andrew.
Right, you can't deny that.
Enter the
Yeah, and it was not chopped or whatever they be trying to say back then. Oh, hold on, let's see what he's saying.
Meal plan made just for your dog. Plus,
Why would I have to come in on you talking about
through their app? This was his way of giving me extra love.
Well, her brother tried to resuscitate
Not just
let me go back.
who was driving her. And this is Juan, who we actually also interviewed too. He confirmed this whole account from his point of view. Preyed on the most vulnerable. And I think the fact that she starts the story of her father and being molested by him, it helps people understand how Ghislaine Maxwell sought out girls who were broken. And how dark and insidious that is, and how she can never be pardoned. I mean, she can be technically, but I think if you read Virginia's book, you'll see the humanity in it. I mean,
I agree, she should never.
Loving Jeffrey Epstein, wanting his love badly. It shows you the complexity.
I agree. She should never.
Gag order timed with the Platinum Jubilee.
Ghislaine Maxwell should never be pardoned.
Suicide attempts and mental health struggles, she talks about. Exclusion from Maxwell's trial due to too many names. And public smear, class prejudice, and a royal supporters attack. Okay? So, Tara Palmieri is a veteran journalist, the author of The Red Letter on Substack, and the host of the Tara Palmieri's show here on YouTube. Did I get it all, Tara?
I think you forgot friend, dog mother,
a very good friend and a huge supporter of mine, and I'm a huge supporter of hers.
Yeah.
And I'm also a big, huge fan and support and admirer of your work, Tara. Great work here.
I feel the same way about you. You've been so amazed at seeing you on the ground in the middle of every major story.
Hi, Cyrus.
And just like nailing it. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much. You as well. So let's talk about this, because this is your thing. You own this story. So you do, and I mean that in a good way. So then, give me your initial takeaways, and we'll talk of some of the things. How is this going to have any impact on any of this?
I feel like it does. I mean, this is. I hope that this story keeps the Epstein story alive, because it tells it in the most human way possible. It is so hard to break through the porn of the story, the wealth porn, the spy porn, the porn, and to actually paint a picture of a victim and what it was like to be trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein, to be controlled by him.
It's more than just about Epstein. It's about the president. It's about the elite men,
the fact that she started
prime ministers. It's about female madams. It's about a political cabinet, the political party, the political cover-up, human trafficking, political frats, fraternity. Oh, it's about a whole bunch of stuff. It's about marketing. It's about making money. It's about trafficking kids. It's about a whole bunch of stuff. It's about lying and deceit. It's about paying people to troll victims to make them seem like liars, to cover up their dirty deeds. Yeah, it's about a president stealing, lying, building up hope for victims just to be let down because he forgot that he was in there, and some of his attorney friends and the deal that he was a part of with Epstein. It's about him trying to pardon people that are convicted felons who are child apists. Yeah, it's about how dare the United States make a mistake and put a convicted felon 34 times over of sex crimes in the White House as if he's not a sexual criminal. How did the U.S. miss it? They hate black people. They hate Democrats so much, I guess. I'm asking that they will allow a convicted felon 34 times over to sit and have the highest job in the United States. It's about there are thousands and millions of felons that can't get a job, but he got one. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You wasn't expecting all that, but let's go.
And being molested by him, it helps people understand how Ghislaine Maxwell sought out girls who were broken. And how dark and that is.
Trump is considering pardoning her. The only person that's serving time for the crime that he knows that he's a part of. Yeah. And you have lied about putting transparency, and now you want to pardon, commute time for the person. Yeah. One of them. Knowing good and dang well is more. Yeah, that's just insult to injury.
How there should be there. She can never be pardoned. I mean, she can.
I totally agree.
I mean, she can be technically.
I totally agree with you, Precious, right here.
How Ghislaine Maxwell.
I totally agree. She should never be pardoned.
Sought out girls who were broken, and how dark and insidious that is, and how there should be there. She can never be pardoned.
Every kind of abuse. She groomed a broken child.
But I think if you read Virginia's book, you'll see the humanity in it. I mean, Dawn, she talks about loving Jeffrey Epstein, wanting his love badly.
Oh, wow.
It shows you the complexity of sexual assault, sexual abuse, of a lifetime of it, of cycles of abuse, the trauma, the confusion. Why people who are assaulted don't go to the police right away. They're not the perfect victims. And it shows the humanity of Virginia. She's no longer the teen liar, the teen prostitute and liar. It shows her for who she is. And she's an incredibly vulnerable, warm, hopeful, loving person. And she actually wrote in her book about our journey together and what it was like for her. And, you know, it was hard to read it because I felt what it felt like for her being there. But, you know, I just want to pull one part of it. Because we went back and tried to find people who could corroborate her story of abuse. And she writes about tracking down this celebrity chef, Adam Perry Lang.
About.
It's Unbroken is the chapter. It's page 3. I wanted from Lang. Of course, I hope that he might have information that could help me hold Epstein's. emotional level, I just wanted to hear Lang confirm my experience. He could have said something as simple as, I see what happened to you because I was there, and that would have helped me heal. Would I have been thrilled if he had handed over incontrovertible evidence of wrongdoing? Sure. But I wasn't really expecting that. Mostly
Right,
what I
Karen.
wanted was validation.
I agree.
Clearly, though, I wasn't going to get that from Lang. That's all she wanted.
Validation.
Yeah,
Validation.
validation.
She's telling the truth and that she's human, right? And yeah.
Tea sippers, that's what I always say. That's what I always say. They just want to be validated. They just want to be validated. They are not crazy. It happened. But yet, and still people still want to validate or protect the predators. I don't get that. Why is it so hard for us to validate victims?
And I think and the story, it keeps going, and you know, we see the house manager, and he does let us into the house, and they recall these experiences, but
That's the craziest
very
shit ever.
withholding, and it's a really brutal story. It's really hard to read it, especially I think for everybody. People will be in shock to read this story. I always wondered if she could really write a memoir, because her story is so dark, and in the best, they say the best memoirs, you can see yourself in them. But in Virginia, we know why, because clearly she talked the talk that the president wanted. But I think if you read this book, which is so special because, like I said, we never hear from the victims, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Or in New York, Deborah Turkheimer said that they suffer a real credibility deficit, and it's harder for them to prove their case, while powerful men have a credibility inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they go through another form of traumatization, having to tell their story again, and then seeing the world side with those men. Sometimes it can be worse than the abuse itself, when they see the
Yeah, I
community
cannot
side
stand to see women go along with predators.
The man, and so, or the abuser. So it's just really hard for a lot of these women, and they tell their stories over and over again. They knock on the doors of justice, banging, banging, banging. They're not open. I mean, even now, Alex Acosta doesn't read the victim statements, but decides that they would have a withering impeachment on the stand from Jeffrey Epstein's lawyers. So he says they're not credible enough, and that's why he gave Epstein a sweetheart deal. You have the state attorneys calling them teen prostitutes, saying there are no victims here. It's just, they were just treated horribly, and I wonder if they were the daughters of the men that they were trafficked to, how this would have went.
Let's go through some of this, shall we? You mentioned her father.
Yeah.
Avalon, you're right. Only the rich.
We talked about that a bit, and fear of becoming a sex slave, right? Someone was wanted to pay her more. Can we talk about Prince Andrew? Because, he just lost his title, and then, Fergie in the process lost hers as well. She alleges the first time that she met Prince Andrew at Ghislaine Maxwell's London townhouse. It was in 2001. And he guessed her age. The Duke guessed correctly, 17. My daughters are just a little younger than you, he said. That's a quote from the book. She continues, as usual, Maxwell was quick with a joke. I guess we will have to trade.
Parents of children who play
Every
Roblox.
time that come on, it's a problem.
If your child was sexually exploited, abused, or pressured to share explicit content by someone they met on Roblox.
My toes and licking my arches. That's a quote.
What?
Note, Prince Andrew has denied the allegations.
He looked at her feet and what?
She said, that's a quote from Maxwell.
Gross.
I know. She further claims sexual contact. Andrew was particularly attentive to, correctly, 17. My daughters are just a little younger than you, he said. That's a quote from the book. She continues, as usual, Maxwell was quick with a joke. I guess we will have to trade her in soon. She said, that's a quote from Maxwell.
Gross.
I know. She further claims sexual contact. Andrew was particularly attentive to my feet, caressing my toes and licking my arches. It's a quote. Note: Prince Andrew has denied the
Wow.
allegations and has not admitted liability. We're gonna have to trade her in soon. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Well, they really wanted them to look young. And, you know, there's a picture of her at a party with Naomi Campbell and obviously with Epstein. And she just looks so young.
Hmm.
Like, you see all these people at the party, okay? Looks like a girl who looks older. I don't know if you can
Oh
see
wait,
it.
yeah, hold it. Yeah, there we. Okay. Oh, I see. Is
Yeah.
she in the pink?
She's big. She's such a little girl.
She looks like a little girl right there.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. She
Can you
looks so
hold it
young.
closer? Can you hold it closer to the thing?
Sure. And that's what I felt
I'm
like.
gonna have to get the book, y'all.
Down.
Look at everyone else around her.
Wow, and that is.
She just doesn't fit
That's
in.
the same day. That's the same day. The picture that the prince be
it was-
trying to deny.
Is that
No.
the singer?
It was Naomi Campbell's 31st birthday in Saint Tropez.
Got it.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So Naomi was
Like,
okay with her
amazing.
having minors being at her party.
The thing about her father that I didn't, I just want to read this. Okay.
So
this
Naomi
first
Naomi
wow,
knew.
She had what a life.
Yeah.
But she said, let's go back to her father. She says, as a child, I
Yeah.
experienced nearly every kind of abuse: incest, parental neglect, severe corporal punishment, molestation, rape. Okay. She says she described how her father told her to stand up in the bath so he could clean in between her legs. That night in my room, Dad touched me in ways nobody had before. He told me I was his special girl, his favorite, and that this was his way of giving me extra love. Her father, Sky Roberts, denies the abuse. Just to straighten
Wow.
this out, I never abused my daughter and didn't know that. If I had known about that, I would have been very angry and taken care of the situation.
Who? That doesn't make any sense what she said. What he said.
That's what he said that he didn't. He goes, first of all, I guess he's saying, first of all, I never abused my daughter. And I didn't know that. I guess maybe didn't know about the other thing, the Epstein thing. And if I had known, I would have been very angry.
Oh, that he traded daughters with another friend. That was the other allegation. Yeah, that they traded daughters.
Yeah.
I always had a feeling there was.
Wow, they traded daughters. Yesterday, y'all remember? Y'all remember when I said I wouldn't be surprised if the daddy didn't pimp her out? Y'all remember I said that? Jenna, you remember I said that? They traded daughters. Same thing. That's what I think Trump did with his daughter and Kurt. What's Ivanka's husband? Jared, daddy did to him and BB Nednumi.
He denies it, by the way.
Right.
Not gonna
she
sue
never
me.
said it to me when I was with her, but like she didn't talk to him for many years.
Her daddy
she said something
pimped
about
out.
like, oh, his friend. She talked about that often. But incest is very
And taking care of the situation.
This is sad.
That doesn't make any sense what she said. What he said.
That's what he said that he didn't. He goes, first of all, I guess he's saying, first of all, I never abused my daughter. And I didn't know that. I guess maybe didn't know about the other thing, the Epstein thing. And if I had known, I would have been very angry.
Oh, that he traded daughters with another friend. That was the other allegation. Yeah, that they traded daughters.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I always had a feeling there was an incest part to this.
But that's the allegation. He denies it, by the way.
Right.
Of course.
She never said it to me when I was with her, but like she didn't talk to him for many years. She said something about like, oh, his friend. She talked about that often. But incest is very taboo and very few people.
Oh my goodness.
People are willing to talk about it. I'm really proud of her. for doing to this.
But that's the allegation. He denies it, by the way.
Right. She never said it to me when I was with her, but like she didn't talk to him for many years. She said something about like, oh, you know, his friend. She talked about that often. But incest is very taboo, and very few people are willing to talk about it. I'm really proud of her for doing it. And you know, when she died,
How can a
and he went on
dad
Piers Morgan and
be
said
attracted
she
to
was
his
killed,
daughter? Oh my
I was so
God.
furious because I knew that they had a very strange relationship, that she didn't talk to him, that she hated him. And that I was like, how can he say that? He doesn't know anything. And also, I had spoken to her before that, and I knew how unwell she was. And her family was literally with her, trying to take care of her because she was so unwell. Her brother tried to resuscitate her. The conspiracies around her death are really disgusting. She was unwell. Trauma causes this sort of pain. It lives in you forever. You know, I mean, some people with therapy and help, they can do it, and she really worked hard on that.
Mm-hmm.
But
She couldn't overcome it.
I still think that it was just, she just lived a life of so much trauma.
It was
she was living apart from her
you
children.
know,
They were her life.
I don't want anybody to take their life. I don't, you know, so I do not condone it. But it was as if she was dealt a blow after sexual violations, then became physical, blow after blow after blow after blow. And then she loses the only thing she feels like that brings her peace, her kids. And oh my God, at the very worst time. It's just overwhelming. If it's overwhelming to hear it, I can only imagine living it. Y'all, I need for y'all to double tap the face of y'all screen and get the likes up.
Then her husband was abusive to her. It was just all of it was terrible.
Thank you, Miss
Let me jump
Naturally
in here and say, because she
Narlins.
talked about suicide
Thank you,
attempts and
thank you,
mental
thank
health
you.
struggles. Giuffrie reveals that in 2022 she attempted suicide, weighed down by nightmares of abuse and social media smears, as well as a post-COVID hospital stay. She writes, I was weary of defending myself against against vicious, hurtful words, liar, sellout, extortionist, drug addict, whore. I was sick of the nightmares. And then she said, and alarmingly, I see now, I wasn't afraid anymore. Instead, I just felt hollowed out. So when my trauma tricked my brain into telling me lies, it would be better for everyone if you weren't here, my brain said. She continued, she said, I believe that my brain.
Hi, Susan.
So I believed my brain, so I reached for the painkillers that I had smuggled into the hospital, and I swallowed as many as I could. Her son found her after a second attempt days later.
Yeah, I believe this. She had talked about her mental health issues. I saw it up close when I was with her. At one point, I was like, we shouldn't do this anymore with the reporting because it was too intense. She wanted to keep going, but yeah, it was hard. She had visceral reactions to the locations that we were driving past, like the Palm Beach airport.
Yeah, you told me about that. Did she
Yeah.
have a panic attack when you guys drove by?
Yeah, she did. She just wasn't well. It's really hard. You know, what do they say? The body keeps the score. She was like an 8. She had so many kidney issues, which is like around obviously the sex organs. We had to go to the doctor at one point because she was having some sort of kidney issue. She was hard. Her life was hard. It was, I don't know, I know I'm saying the word hard, but I don't know how else to say it. And she tried to be so optimistic and have so much light and be so strong for everyone else, but she neglected herself like so many other victims do of these sorts of, cases. They often neglect themselves in service to everyone else.
Yeah. Tara. Hold on.
Oh my God. Ugh.
Okay. So, Tara, Thank you. Look, I know that you have a time issue, so I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you reporting on this. Is there anything else you want to say or about this?
That's okay. Thanks for having me on. I wrote a piece about her too in the Red Letter, and
I think we have
thanks
that.
for everyone. And yeah, you should read her book. I really think it's important, and I think
I'm gonna have to get it. Yeah.
this is what she would have wanted. Is this sort of she would have wanted her book to live on and to have a meaningful impact, and for it to drive lawmakers to see the shame in not voting to release the files and to bring light to all this. Because if their files are released and her files are under redacted, it'll cause earthquakes. So, yeah.
Tara Palmieri, thank you so much, my friend. Okay, Tara Palmieri is a veteran journalist, the author of the Red Letter on Substack, and the host of the Tara Palmieri Show right here on YouTube. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Keep up the great work. Okay, thanks so much. I have more. Wait till you hear what lawmakers are saying about this. Wait till you hear what they're saying today. Distracting. You're going to hear all the evidence of everything that I said in the open to the show, and also what Tara talked about. But first, a word from our sponsors. Support comes from Lean. We've all tried diets that don't last, but here's what I didn't. You guys know James Comer, right? He's often the one that's sitting there in the hearings with the gavel. Okay. And then this came out today. The book came out this week, and I guess they had to scurry to try to somehow distract from it, or continue to exonerate the president, or just protect him or kiss his butt. Here's James Comer.
Let's be clear. Democrats don't care about transparency or accountability in this matter. The evidence we've gathered does not implicate President Trump in any way. Public reporting, survivor testimony, and official documents show that Bill Clinton had far closer ties to Epstein. We're working to bring former President Clinton in for a deposition, but the Democrats aren't helping one bit. You would think, since we've already brought 2 former Trump cabinet secretaries in, they would be willing to bring in a Democrat who's had publicly a far closer relationship.
Release the files.
Especially Maxwell and Epstein.
Release the files.
That's a question every reporter should be asking Ranking Member Garcia and every Democrat on the committee. Why are you helping to bring Bill Clinton in for an interview and deposition just like we brought in Barr and Acosta? Nope.
Let's be clear. It was Trump who mentioned Clinton first. So Clinton, before shutdown, why didn't he wanted to bring up Comey, he wanted to bring in James, while he was filing complaint of suit against somebody, bringing them in, that should have been the first person before the shutdown. Yeah, so go on with that stupid shit.
This Elmer Fudd sounding fucking dude. Like, what the hell is he talking about? Bill Clinton? If he's in the files, what do you need to hear from Bill Clinton for? Like, what is the whole point? These people are blinded by their ideology. They're blinded. Like, what do you need to do that? Why do you keep reaching? What about bringing, oh my gosh, I wish I was there. I would say, Mr. Comer, so if you want to bring the former president in, why don't you bring the current president in? Okay, let's bring in Bill Clinton, but let's bring in Donald Trump.
Yeah, and whoever that guy was that went down to talk with her and moved her, bring his ass in too.
Would have said to that, and obviously he is reaching.
Yeah, why do you think she should have been moved, and why is Trump considering pardoning her?
Was the Attorney General? So
yeah, bring them all in.
Bring him in, current. Or at least in recent history, or while Donald Trump was president the first time, like, come on, okay, fine.
We don't care. Bring them all in. Barr, yeah, him too.
But to say that you want to bring in Bill Clinton is just a reach, and I think everybody can see through it. Fine, bring in if we're bringing in presidents, let's bring in the current president, and then not far behind him was Mike Johnson. Play it.
a leader. They don't have any identifiable set of policy solutions for the problems facing the American people. Their party continues to hit all-time historic
The Prince,
lows,
Hillary, bring them all in. I don't, every last one of them.
They're utterly lost as a party, and everybody can see it. So what are they doing? They see a shiny object, and they latch onto it. Democrats did not say one word about the Epstein files for the entire Biden presidency.
No.
They had all the files.
Sure did not.
In the Biden DOJ.
Right.
They didn't say a word about it. 4 years. Not a word.
Why? Oh, no one's telling them. That's because they thought that they had prosecuted them, or the other one was unalived and stuff. We didn't know that there was more to it until Trump advised us. Yeah, he advised us that it was more, that we needed to look into it, and he was going to release the files. So why would Biden, if she was prosecuted under his watch and sentenced? Yeah, so what you're saying don't make no sense, and it kills me that don't nobody correct him, so that they can stop saying that. Get your ass on.
And suddenly now, they somehow convince themselves that the Epstein files will be damaging to President Trump and Republicans in some way that they've imagined, and so they feign outrage.
Let me be clear.
I mean,
just because y'all little people, little nasty dingling people, don't mind sharing y'all daughters out and nieces and all that type of shit, don't mean that everybody else in your party is okay with that. Just cause you were Durbin, bring Durbin's ass, Dubin or whatever his name is, pregnant ass wife at the time, bring her ass in too. So, but just because y'all like that freaky, nasty shit, y'all take swinging to a whole nother level. Y'all include kids. Yeah. So if y'all into orgies, that's cool. That's y'all business. But orgies with kids, minors, hell fuck no. So, yes, everybody should have outrage. Only people I don't expect to have one are the ones who do this regularly. That's y'all norm. That's why it's not a problem to y'all. Let's go.
Sense to you. Okay, fine.
Y'all, this is my last time asking y'all to get the lights
up. I don't
up.
even know what to say to that. It doesn't make sense. They didn't release it under Biden. Okay, fine. Biden is not
Hi,
president
Karen.
anymore.
Thank you
So
for all your hard work. Thank you, Karen.
And but make sure that
Cochino,
you bring Trump
hello.
in. If you want to bring the former presidents in, then bring them in.
Every last one of them.
This was not a Democratic obsession. Democrats are like, okay, fine, justice will take care of itself. We trust our Justice Department, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, Donald Trump says, and then you learn that his name is in there. And then in the book, it tells you that, look, how did Virginia Giuffrie meet Epstein? It was through Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago.
You heard the story. Saw her standing outside the gates, I believe, Tara said, or the book says, at Mar-a-Lago. I'm just saying. Don't believe the pictures in the person who has the most ties other than Ghislaine Maxwell to Jeffrey Epstein. Don't believe that about Donald Trump, but just about some random person or some other person who may be in the files and is on the flight logs. But what about Donald Trump? Unfreaking believable. Dan Goldman, who's a Democratic lawmaker here in New York, representative, had a few words for James Comer. Here it is.
I don't even know where to begin. It was a clown show over in the Oversight Committee.
I feel you.
Obviously, there's plenty of evidence already, including a letter to Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book, that Donald Trump had some indication of what's going on. We know about the many, many times Trump traveled on his plane. We know about Trump saying he knows about Epstein's penchant for younger girls. And more importantly, they are covering up disclosure of the Epstein files. The Republicans who literally made this a top campaign issue are now going through a very, very complex cover-up. And part of that cover-up is James Comer, because that oversight investigation very specifically does not ask for the types of evidence where Donald Trump's name, likeness would be. Photographs, video recordings, audio recordings, witness statements, the investigation origination documents. The Oversight Committee has not asked for those. The discharge petition that Mike Johnson is preventing Adelita Grijalva from signing by not allowing her to be sworn in, that would require those documents to be turned over. And as a former prosecutor, I believe that is where you would see Donald Trump. So this notion that Bill Clinton should come in for a deposition and Donald Trump shouldn't is preposterous. And the idea that there's no evidence about Donald Trump when this
Oh, yeah, it is. He know it.
USA Facts is a completely free website and newsletter.
How dare them have a conference
avoiding
about
the most
it?
damning
But
evidence.
didn't want to talk about it before.
And no one should be fooled.
Okay, let me just say, I did not preview that soundbite. I had no idea what Dan Goldman was going to say, and he said the exact same thing that I did. The idea that Bill Clinton should come in, but Donald Trump shouldn't, is ridiculous. I mean, is James Comer that dumb? Maybe he is that dumb. And do people actually believe him? I mean, are we the dummies? Maybe we're the dummies. The idea that someone else should come in who's not, oh my God.
I'm not no dummy. I see what's going on.
Did he have an orange face today from sticking his face so far up Donald Trump's ass? James Comer. Look, a broken clock. Man, you can say what you want. She's been on the right side of this episode.
People voted for Donald Trump because they thought that he couldn't be beholden to anyone and that he would hold elites accountable because he speaks very plain spoken. And a lot of people that voted for him were kind of single issue voters. They were consumed with the Epstein files. And it's something that we have bipartisanship about, that no matter who you are, you should be held accountable, especially with sex crimes against children. And so a bombshell broke yesterday, and the New York Post of all places put up the headline. Virginia Giuffrie was left bloodied and beaten by Prime Minister in attack that broke Epstein's spell, and it was the beginning of the end. And the Prime Minister she's referring to here is Israel's former Prime Minister, Ehud Barak. And so this is wild how any other leader or former leader here is Israel's former Prime Minister, Ehud Barak. And so this is wild how any other leader or former leader of any country, this would be wall-to-wall coverage. But when it gets to Israel, the way it's covered is just unbelievable. Perhaps you may remember, and listener, you may remember, back this summer, there was an FBI raid on people that were trying to have sex with underage, with children. And one of them was an Israeli government official. And they just flew him back to Israel, no charges filed. And so this is a really interesting component that when it comes to Israel, we're always held like emotionally blackmailed. We can't criticize the Israeli government or they're going to call us anti-Semites, when really the best thing you can do for Jewish people is to criticize war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. The best thing you can do for a country that wants to be a beacon of democracy is uphold the rule of law. The best thing you can do when there are sex crimes is shine a light on it to disinfect it. But time and time again, the elite circles, and I think there's some bipartisanship here. I mean, Bill Clinton was on the list. These people are able to hide from this. And this is just absolutely horrific that she who now...
We need to stop calling it Israel. We need to hold them accountable. I don't care if we are in debt to them. We need to call them fake Israel. They are not Israel. It's fake. If you want to listen, fake Israel. Fake last names. Fake. Stop saying pro-Israel. It's fake Israel. Damn it. I'm going to stop this lying.
Committed suicide. This young Epstein survivor, I mean, I think she was 40 when she committed suicide, but when this happened, she was underage. Mm-hmm. She was bloodied and choked and beaten up by an Israeli prime minister. Seriously?
And her trafficking with Epstein went on for years. And I just want to remind everybody, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her from Mar-a-Lago. And you look at how other countries are dealing with the fallout from the Epstein files. Let's take, crickets on what's going on with Israeli people. But in Britain, Prince Andrew gave his title up. The ambassador to the U.S. had to resign. And what are we doing? We are fucking covering it up. Big Christian Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, he's the worst offender. He is standing in the gap for pedophiles.
Okay, and then this is really interesting. This is the national security official of Israel currently sitting. And Minister Ben-Gvir, and he says, now that we have received the hostages, we must return to war and open the gates of hell upon Gaza. And so again, there is this double standard where it feels like the only bipartisanship in Congress is AIPAC donations and covering for Israel. I mean, we had Cory Booker on this podcast, and he couldn't answer a simple question. Is Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal? We got word salad rhetoric. We've had Hakeem Jeffries on this podcast and asked him about his AIPAC donations. Again, word salad rhetoric. None of these people will endorse Zohran Mamdani, who is...
Meet the Bellatrix Fold 1 Plus. This awesome, compact, but powerful e-bike not only folds in half, but delivers a
not an anti-Semite, and I would even argue going along with a criminal regime in the name of helping Jewish people is about as anti-Semitic as it gets. And how disgraceful that these Israelis and now the American government, they had no intention of holding the ceasefire. They have every intention of ethnically cleansing, and nobody ever stands up for the Palestinian people. And I just want to say to all of you listening and watching that don't cherry pick human rights, somebody has to stand up for these people. And I know that a lot of Americans are. And in doing that, you get called an anti-Semite for standing up for little kids and civilians that are getting shot. But moving along here, we have a Congresswoman, Ansari, on the Epstein cover-up, and she is spitting fire. Play the clip.
The circumstances of this 13-month sentence was a joke. I mean, it's a complete and utter joke. He continued to abuse and rape so many other women after that. And the other notable piece in all of this is through some of the documents that we have been able to get from the Department of Justice through the Oversight Committee subpoena demonstrate that so many of these rich and powerful men, whether it be Elon Musk, Stephen Thiel, Steve Bannon, Peter Thiel, I apologize, Steve Bannon, and others, even after Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted predator and sex trafficker and child abuser, still continued to meet with him, to want to visit Epstein Island, to engage with him. Mm-hmm. And so the cover-up is just so extreme. And at this point, there is no excuse for the Trump White House continuing to cover this up. And partial transparency is no longer acceptable. We need the full files immediately.
Pumps.
Okay, I look at this and I think these little girls have been marginalized, abused, and silenced for decades. Mm-hmm. And they live with
it.
That trauma every single day. Donald Trump, who was best friends with Epstein for 15 years, calls it a hoax. And these members of Congress know exactly what it is. Kash Patel knows exactly what it is. Pam Bondi knows exactly what it is. You know, Dan Bongino, the bozo, he knows exactly what it is. And what they have said is, it is more important for me to further my political career and to fluff Donald Trump's dick than it is for me to protect little girls. And you see it throughout. It is ridiculous. This should not be an issue that divides people. 100% of the people in the United States and abroad should say, sex trafficking children and raping children should always be wrong, but they don't, because they are morally bankrupt, blinded by the cult and their own power. And it is, these women are suffering. It makes me sick.
Me too.
Moving along, we have Congressman Ro Khanna, who has absolute moral clarity on not only this issue of releasing the files, but he also has moral clarity that if the Democratic Party does not drop AIPAC, we are going to lose the youth vote. We will lose the youth vote. We have toxic, morally duplicitous leadership at the top of the Democratic Party. And I'm talking about Jeffries and Chuckles. And they are beholden to Israel, who is playing a part in covering this up. And all of these things, it just appears to be linked. And it's one thing I think we could find common ground with MAGA, shockingly, is that nobody should be excused from this. And everybody that took part in this should be exposed. Play the clip from Ro Khanna.
Outraged by is that I'm here in the Capitol, many Democrats are here in the Capitol, and Mike Johnson has shut the Capitol down. And why has he shut the Capitol down? He doesn't want to swear in Adelita Grijalva, because that would be the 218th signature on Thomas Massey and my petition that would force a vote on the release of the Epstein files. And he knows 50 to 60 of his own members would defect.
And he's exactly right. And that's exactly why little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson won't do it. And here's the thing. I think people have goods on a lot of these people. I think they've got the goods on Lindsey Graham. I think they've got the goods on little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. And so they just go along with all of this shit, because what's the payoff if you're this big devout Christian like little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, where you are preaching the gospel and kissing Donald Trump's ass during the day and then on Grindr eating ass at night? He thinks, okay, I'm going to do all of these bad things, but I'm doing it because I'm going to make America a Christian nationalist nation. So that's why he moves through this with impunity. But I just want to remind you who is on this administration. This is an oldie but a goodie. Play the clip.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit, even when other lenders won't. Apply online in minutes and get funds deposited the next business day or sooner. Go to netcredit.com. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
In a world gripped by pain, one man has searched a lifetime for something the world gave up on. Relief. At the end of the world lies a sacred treasure. The green-lipped mussel, known to be the source of nature's most powerful inflammation-fighting ingredient.
You know, when we started HealthWorks, the mission was to find a natural solution for the aches and pains that prevent us from enjoying our lives.
Ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
Oh, Lord.
I was on Jeffrey
Yes,
Epstein's
you
jet
was.
2 times. I was on in 1993, and I was on it in.
Okay.
And I went to.
And your nephew screwed Ghislaine.
I mean, here's the thing. I have to say, at least he just said, yeah, I was on it. Right. And I went to the island, blah, blah, blah. But again, this is a prerequisite to be in this administration, to show moral depravity, to show moral collapse, is something that authoritarians use to say, hey, we're better than everybody else, and we are the exception, and the rules that apply to everybody else don't apply to us. That's why we get to break the laws. That's why we're covering up for the former Israeli
Who told us to
prime
get
minister
over it?
that
Southern
raped
Breeze.
a
Hey,
little girl. That's why we're
no, I'm not
covering
getting
up
over me
for
either.
all of these elites that are
Hi,
friends with
Kimberly.
Donald Trump. That's why we're covering for the president himself, who journalist Michael Wolff has said
Oh, yeah, it's
he
way
saw
more.
a photograph of Kinks with topless children
Taco
surrounding him.
tits.
Children, okay? And we know that he's okay with this, Donald Trump, because he said on Howard Stern's radio show that 12 is his cutoff age. He wouldn't date anybody 12 or younger.
Nope. And
But
the
13
minute
and
he
up is no
tried
problem.
to
And finally,
commute
this
them
is just a
people's
story
trial,
that I just
they
couldn't
need to
believe.
bring all of their asses
Trump
up
has
on
been trying to get Russell
charges.
Vogt laid. Pop this up. Oh, God. Here is some reporting from Hassan's network, Zeteo. And here's an excerpt from the article. By mid-2024, Donald Trump and Project 2025 architect Russell Vogt were talking on the phone fairly regularly, but it often wasn't about policy. Trump, when he had downtime from campaigning and plotting his fascist presidency, appeared preoccupied with getting the recently divorced Vogt laid. Two knowledgeable sources tell me. Trump spoke to Vogt, a self-described Christian nationalist who's now one of the president's most hardline enforcers, about the gorgeous and beautiful ladies who roam Trump's club, Mar-a-Lago, so often that it weirded out some of his advisors, in one source's words. Trump offered to be Vogt's wingman, and Trump spoke crudely of all of the pussy that Vogt would surely get as the president's favorite bachelor. So again, this is a part of the toxic masculinity. This is a part of the strong man. And at the end of the day, you guys, this is the kind of stuff that Trump cares about.
And it's funny.
He cares about his decorating projects. He wants to be a big
He
dick.
can't get, so in other words, you have to have some type of political power to get some ussy. Can't get it on your own. Can't just be a plain old good looking, fine, well respected young man or man that a woman would be attracted to. Oh no. They're attracted to your money, power. So then you can imagine all the coochie you can get. Shit. Yeah. Again, so that means you got Peter problems. Your performance ain't what that is. So you got to take it.
Look, I can get you laid, Russell Vogt. But the reason why I added that to this Epstein thing is to show you that this behavior has always been...
I'm sorry. It was stuck. Yeah. You got dangling. You got performance issues.
...get as the president's favorite bachelor. So again, this is a part of the toxic masculinity. This is a part of the strong man. And at the end of the day, you guys, this is the kind of stuff that Trump cares about. Right. He cares about his decorating projects. He wants to be a big dick. Oh, look, I can get you laid, Russell Vogt. But the reason why I added that to this Epstein thing is to show you that this behavior has always been there to girls 12 and over. And it still remains. This is a man who said that if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, he'd date her because that's how hot he thinks she is. This is a man that behaves a certain way that all of these Republican men wouldn't want their daughter marrying a man like this. And so to the millions of people that excuse this behavior, that have daughters and mothers,
they don't have the tools.
At some point, these knives will be against somebody you love, and you're playing with fire.
I agree,
not having moral clarity on this issue.
I look at this entire administration from top to bottom. They think women are disposable. They use them for one reason: breeding, raising kids. J.D. Vance fucking said it out loud.
And beating on them.
But these men do not value women. So women, look around, particularly white women, because we know what races they are, black women, of course. They have disdain for women because they are little, small.
A sister gonna bust their head to the white meat, baby. You still gonna walk around up in that White House? That whole thing, baby. Sister would have been trying to bring it down. Okay? Trying to get a car up in there. She be saying them days is over. You did it to my big mama, grandma. See, unless they just wanted it. But the average woman, no.
Impotent men that only care about beating their chest like they're Tarzan because they're fucking weak. It's so appalling. It is so harmful to our country for these guys to be in power. It's just fucking gross.
I agree, Pumps. It is absolutely disgusting.
Females are not protected
and all
with
of
this
these Republican men
cabinet.
have daughters. Yeah. It's just really, really disgusting.
But baby girl, they swapping out daughters. Trump, he wants his own daughter. He'd rather have his daughter than on mama. He pushed the mama down the stairs. You understand? Yeah. They want their daughters too. How can a man penis get hard for his daughter? What type of sick shit is that?
The love you feel when you have a child and how vulnerable that little child is. And then you go out and you participate in this moral depravity, the demeaning of other human beings. And I just want to add, Russell vote to the unfuckable list.
I agree.
You know, I mean, these people are so disgusting. This Christian nationalist gets divorced, and then, of course, he's running around with kanks. These people are absolutely lying to you, MAGA Christians. They're liars.
Yeah.
But I think MAGA Christians are kind of liars, too. All right, that's all we have. Pumps, tell them about our book.
Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. It's linked below in the show
They
notes.
are
And
so
you can get it on
funny
Audible
to
if you want to
me.
hear us read it.
All right, subscribe to our channel.
They didn't call them taco tits. Where my likes at? Let me see if I'm finna go. Y'all get my likes up. They didn't. Come on, y'all. Get these likes up. They didn't call him taco tits. They getting soft. Donald Trump is asking for $230 million for himself. God, y'all.
Hello, traders, and welcome back to the Trading View channel. In this
Why
video,
have they not
our new AI
impeached this
indicator, which we
man?
developed in partnership with Open.
You're watching the Legal Breakdown. Glenn, we have some insane news here. I had to look at this headline multiple times. I'm going to throw it right here on the screen. Trump said to demand the Justice Department pay him $230 million for past cases. In other words, Donald Trump feels wronged that he was rightfully investigated, by the way, indicted.
Because he losing that case.
Crimes, and yet now he wants the Justice Department to pay him back for that. So use taxpayer money, $250 million, to go into his own pocket. First and foremost,
watch
the
somebody do
legality
it.
Of this move.
You know, Brian, the legality of Donald Trump, because the Department of Justice investigated him for crimes he obviously committed. We saw many of them with our own eyes. Grand juries indicted him based on the evidence that was presented, and he was,
he haven't even paid the woman in the case that he lost.
Except he won an election and he couldn't be tried for the crimes for which he was indicted.
I can't with him.
The legality of him, the President of the United States, now demanding $230 million from the Department of Justice, claiming that, they were harassing him and they were violating his privacy rights. Those are literally some of the claims he's making. And beyond that, who will be the one to decide whether DOJ should pay him that nearly $250 million
That's ridiculous.
or not? Well,
he is milking the U.S.
It's been a hell of a
Eventful week on the royal scene, hasn't it, on the royal front? So let's go straight over to Los Angeles and talk to our resident royal guru, our resident expert, the host of King's.
Oh, that's them people. They want you to take your VPN out. I wish the hell I would. I wish the hell I would.
Well, it's been a hell of a eventful week on the royal scene, hasn't it, on the royal front?
Oh, yeah,
So,
hey Jamal. Oh, yeah, they will defend him.
And talk to our resident royal guru, our resident expert, the host of Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered, Kinsey Schofield. Hi, Kins.
Kev, I had the best weekend.
Okay, so here's the other.
Not looking at any Prince Andrew headlines. I chose to spend it with my nephew and not see anything. And then yesterday I got home, perused everything, and thought, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. It really is. We tried to get you on Friday. I know that you always have Fridays off. But I said, see if Kinsey break off her weekend, see if she can come on. But I don't think we managed to make contact. But it actually broke on Friday just as I was going on air, 7 o'clock Friday night. And frankly, all hell broke loose. It occurs to me, Kinsey, because usually we spend most of our time talking about Harry and Meghan. There's a thread here, right? I think you and I have discussed this before. If you're born into the royal family, it is the British royal family. It is an extremely unusual.
Yeah, this gonna be my last, and then I'm leaving. I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I'll be back.
Okay, ready for this? When the Washington Times, not Post, the Times is reporting how the Trump administration has lost military support, you know it's a dire state of affairs out there.
In other words,
now is this military?
To our enemies.
Oh, no. I don't want to talk about this.
On September 30th, Colonel Douglas Krugman resigned his post after.
They losing it all the way around. He is really trying to incite a war, and he don't care who he take out. I've been saying he's an enemy of the United States. He is an enemy. Hold on, before he is an enemy on purpose. Oh, that's why he asked him for it, because they're finding no evidence for the indictment. That's why he's asked him for some money. Yeah, sit your ass down. You crazy? Pay the people who y'all have victimized all this time. Pay them. Let's hear this. This gonna be it, y'all. Y'all can't get the lights up. I'm going out on my man right here.
With Justice Department lawyers facing the possibility for the first time in history of being found in criminal contempt of court thanks entirely to Donald Trump, the greater tragedy that will be
Patty,
studied
what you
for
say?
Centuries to come, wherever American law and American
Patty, are you? Hold on.
that tonight.
Patty, are you? Why would you come in asking such a question and you don't even speak? Are you? Yeah, we want to know who you talking to, Patty. Are you? Okay, so why would you ask us that? Yeah, why would you ask us that? You should have came in saying, hey, fellow Americans, hello. I mean, you come in all aggressive. Like what? What you trying to say? You may want to go out and come back in and speak first. Did you hit the like button? Shit.
the United States of America is enduring, for the first time in its history, the governance of a president who treats any law that he does not like with contempt. Every president, other than Donald Trump, has taken the oath of office seriously. They all felt the solemnity of their pledge to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Well, she sounded like she entitled,
of that oath more
like she gonna say the wrong thing over here.
None of them ever came close to the constant contempt for the Constitution that Donald Trump has demonstrated. The only criminal president we had prior to Donald Trump was Republican President Richard Nixon, who in the end followed his oath in fully complying with the most painful order any president has ever received from the United States Supreme Court.
Instead of spending up to $50 on generic Viagra, you can get this
please
new
don't come over here making excuses for pedophiles.
87 cents from Friday.
Richard Nixon was ordered by the unanimous opinion of the United States Supreme Court to turn over secret tape recordings of his conversations in the Oval Office, which he knew contained incriminating evidence against him that would get him impeached and removed from office and then convicted of federal crimes. Richard Nixon knew better than the lawyers who were pursuing those tapes just how incriminating those tapes would be for Richard Nixon. President Nixon knew better than the members of the Supreme Court just how incriminating those tapes would be for him. Richard Nixon was a sharp enough lawyer to know that if the Supreme Court ordered him to turn over those tapes, and if he turned over those tapes,
he went to line.
He would be forced out of the presidency and he would be criminally prosecuted. Nixon knew all of that. And Nixon turned over those tapes 12 days after the Supreme Court ordered him to turn over those tapes. And so, as bad as Richard Nixon was, as criminal as Richard Nixon was, Richard Nixon, the only president who escaped prosecution after serving his term as president by obtaining a pardon from his successor. Richard Nixon had more respect for the due process of law and more respect for the Constitution than Donald Trump. The man who apparently respects nothing has never had anything but contempt for the Constitution, which he has solemnly sworn to protect and defend. What more evidence would anyone need that Donald Trump putting his hand on a Bible and taking an oath means absolutely nothing?
He don't believe in
All
God.
of Donald Trump's wives, including his current wife, soon learned that the words of a marital oath mean nothing to Donald Trump. Donald Trump's current wife was one of the two family members who never set foot in the courtroom in Manhattan last year when Stormy Daniels was testifying under oath about the precise nature of Donald Trump's violations of his marital oath that he is supposed to be living under right now, tonight. The other family member who did not show up in that courtroom is Donald Trump's youngest son, who was at home with his mother when he was 4 months old, and Donald Trump was in a hotel room with Stormy Daniels. You don't have to be highly educated. You don't have to follow the details of government and politics to know what an oath means to Donald Trump. Stormy Daniels could explain it all to you in very simple terms that anyone can understand. Donald Trump's contempt for the Constitution begins at the beginning of the list of amendments called the Bill of Rights. The founders wrote the Constitution and the states ratified the Constitution and created the United States of America before the Bill of Rights was written. Many of the founders and the first Congress believed that the first order of business of the new government had to be the writing into the original law of the land, the Constitution via the 10 amendments, exactly what the government owed to every citizen, the protections the government owed to everyone in America. Donald Trump doesn't just hate the First Amendment, he has violated it. Donald Trump repeatedly says that news organizations, including this one, that he doesn't like, should be closed down. Richard Nixon, on his worst day, never thought that, never said that. Donald Trump's attempt to take over Harvard University was, from beginning to end, a violation of the First Amendment by the President of the United States of America, unlike anything we have ever seen in the history of the presidency. And now Donald Trump is violating the Constitution's Bill of Rights provisions,
asking for millions of dollars.
For anyone
because
who
the
wants
jury of his peers found
and
him
he has
guilty.
violated those rights to the point that the Trump Justice Department lawyers now face a possibility of being found in criminal contempt of court.
Absolutely.
Which we will discuss in detail later in this program.
They should have known that.
For 10 full years now, since Donald Trump, the candidate, first began talking about tariffs, I have been reminding you of what you learned in your high school government class, if you took that course the way I did, about tariffs. The president cannot randomly decide which tariffs to increase or decrease. So says the Constitution. And I learned that from my great teacher and baseball coach in high school, Henry Lane. And then I learned a little more about it while majoring in economics in college and studying, among other things,
out of order,
international trade.
and they are allowing
and
him.
then I learned a lot more about it when I became the chief of staff of the Senate Finance Committee, working for Chairman Daniel Patrick Moynihan on the committee that has jurisdiction over tariffs. When the Senate Finance Committee was created in 1815, tariffs were virtually the only business of the Finance Committee, which also has jurisdiction over taxation, because in the early days of the country, tariffs were the largest source of revenue for the federal government. The income tax was a 20th century creation.
The Bible says, obey the law of the land. He breaking all of that.
The federal government, but Congress,
he want us to follow the law.
Have complete control
while he break
tariffs and taxes given to the Congress directly.
Bible says, "Thou shalt not steal."
The very first law of the land, the first law of the United States of America. In 1977, the Congress passed an obscure law called the International Economic Emergency Powers Act, which gave the president some tools, limited tools, to deal directly in an emergency, a temporary emergency, with some international issues specifically, but specifically did not give the president the power to touch tariffs in any way. And it is that obscure 1977 law that Donald Trump has been using to justify what I have always insisted are his illegal tariffs. How obscure is the International Economic Emergency Powers Act, created in 1977? When I was the top staff member of the Senate Finance Committee with jurisdiction over tariffs, I did not know that that law existed. There was good reason for that. No president of the United States ever used that law to touch a single tariff, not once. And so I entered the first Trump presidency with the belief that the president did not have the
follow the law of the land
to randomly raise tariffs. But Donald Trump did it. And Donald Trump got away with it. And Republicans in Congress who could have stopped him refused to do so. And
he don't have no respect for the Constitution.
Since that first Trump presidency and his
unless
first
it's in his
washing
favor.
Machines, claiming that imported washing machines created an international emergency. I have been waiting for what finally happened today. I have been waiting for someone with the power and legal authority to go into any federal court anywhere in the United States and put Donald Trump's name on a lawsuit suing him to stop his illegal tariffs. And that happened today.
Woo!
In the federal court for the Northern District of California with Donald J. Trump as the principal defendant in the state of California.
Oh, wow, let's go.
As the principal defendant.
So this is why he asking for $200-some million.
As the plaintiffs who have the principal defendant in the state of California and governor of California as the plaintiffs who have finally brought and put Donald Trump's name on a lawsuit suing him to stop his illegal tariffs. And that happened today in the federal court for the Northern District of California with Donald J. Trump as the principal defendant in the state of California and governor of California as the plaintiffs who have finally brought the case that spells out just how illegal the Trump tariffs are. The suit was filed by California's Attorney General Rob Bonta. And right there in the lawsuit,
called for a new one, a new what? A Jamal.
I always believed We would never see a president, even Donald Trump, try to raise and lower tariffs without congressional approval. The lawsuit says, quote, tariffs are not among the numerous actions that the International Economic Emergency Powers Act authorizes the president to take under a declared emergency. Indeed, the word tariff does not appear in the relevant statute at all. No president has previously relied on the International Economic Emergency Powers Act to impose tariffs in the half-century since the enactment of that law. Under our constitutional system, the president may not rule by fiat. The California lawsuit explains exactly what a tariff is, and none of Donald Trump's lawyers will be able to dispute one word of this in court, where they're not allowed to lie. A tariff is a tax. The lawsuit says a tariff is a tax placed on goods imported into a country. It is assessed on the good at the port of entry.
Right.
So the cost is borne by the distributor who is receiving the goods in the United States, not on the country of origin. The tariff effects are thus immediate. And so there it is, in writing, in federal court. China does not pay Donald Trump's tariffs. Never has, never will, not one penny of them. And Donald Trump's lawyers will not dare to contest that fact in any way in court. China.
So however he has it rigged, he breaking the law and he's stealing from the U.S.
lawsuit says exactly what I learned in high school. Quote, the Constitution does not vest in the president any authority to impose tariffs. Rather, the Constitution expressly vests the authority to impose tariffs solely in Congress, not the president. Congress's power in this area is exhaustive because the Constitution does not vest in the president any authority to impose tariffs. Any authority for the president to do so must come, if at all, from an act of Congress. And Congress has indeed granted the president an extremely limited right to impose tariffs, for example, in anti-dumping cases in which, after a full and exhaustive study of trade practices, the federal government determines that an exporter to this country has engaged in unfair trade practices of pricing below actual cost, for example, in an attempt to specifically undermine producers of that good in the United States. In cases like that, which are rare, they have been carefully adjudged by every president who has imposed anti-dumping penalties. That is the principal tool presidents have used to combat unfair
because
trade
it's people
practices
on
that
that
violate
list
some trade agreements that we already have in place with
in
some countries
Congress.
around the world. And every
Yeah,
president
because
prior to
he
Donald
is
Trump
giving
has
them
used that power
tax breaks.
rarely and very.
They don't want to stop them tax breaks. Yeah, they don't want the good old deals and allowing them to get richer. They already stealing. They might as well pay tax on the money that they stealing. So y'all steal and get away with it, and hell, you don't want to pay taxes on the money. Oh no, you're gonna have to do something. Yeah, so y'all don't want to move to impeach because y'all still have deals and y'all still have money y'all trying to collect. Y'all still trying to line y'all pockets. And some of their names are on mentioned in them files. Yeah, but you got several people that's tied to them files that is trying to get out of prison. And you trying to help them. Because you don't think your name, well, they didn't really say bad things about me. You in there. And the females are telling on you. I got another female. Yeah. She talking. She says she gonna write them down for y'all since they don't want to give out their names. It's time for him to get up out of here. He turned up the White House. Yeah, he turned it up. He's stealing. He blaming everybody for us being shut down. We are shut down. Again, I'm going to say, y'all please get the likes up. Double tap the face of your screen. And that's my last time, I promise. That's my last time asking y'all to get the likes up. So they got all of this going on. Then they don't want you to talk about Israel because he all up in BB Netanyahu, sue me, boo your son in the butt, all whatever. Milanowski, Benjamin Milanowski. Yeah, him. He done stole a last name. It's just, all of it's just fraud and it's fake. Fake Israel. Fake prime minister. All of it is fake. Yeah, bootleg. Oh no, boo boo, y'all knew me. Booty, you're not. Ooh, that was funny, Prime Minister.
Representatives,
booty nasty to you.
Under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, quote, emergencies are by their nature rare and brief and are not.
He is stealing. Just like Epstein, they had a clever way for these nasty ass dangling frat trafficking frat boys to traffic these kids. They are trafficking our money and holding us hostage while they steal. Inside job. Telling y'all, by the time it's all over, their plan is to start infrastructure in Israel, you know, building up this brand new Trump Tower, Tesla, all of that in Israel. Fake Israel. I'm telling you. And by the time it's over, they gonna all be on a private jet somewhere, and the people that they let Qatar over here in Utah gonna push a button and blow up, and they asses gonna be in the air on their way to a new Israel. So they are creating a new Israel. They are trying to rewrite the Bible so that the ending will have them being the chosen. Do y'all not get this? They're trying to rewrite history, rewrite the Bible. Come on, people, wake up. I don't know how many times I have to throw hints out and try to get y'all to see what's really going on in our face. Yeah, here, King. Yeah. They can't stand that a golden color with woolly hair is the who God is coming after, huh? They don't want to say we are the new Israel, huh? So no. So we just gonna rewrite it all. What they caught a hot text, a hot mic, somebody talking about MLK should be placed. Do I need to play that? He should be placed in the pits of hell for fighting for rights of the black folk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hot mic. No, he did not. Southern Breeze. Shame on you for looking at that. You are sick in the head and you are blind if that's how you feel. And he did. When you say Obama sold us out too, who are you talking about? Who is us? See, let me see where your head at. Let me see where your head at. Who is us? Southern Breeze. Let's go. And when you answer, you better be ready to rumble with the bee. Because I'm going to sting you if you come out and say what I think you going to say that Obama was supposed to do. For who? Who is us? Let me see. This is an integrity check. So you better answer with integrity. Don't come answering with no ghetto bullshit. Who is us? Who was Obama was supposed to do something for us? Who is us? Is us black people and black people only? Or was he supposed to do something for us, the United States? Because that was his fucking job. You ready to rumble with the bee? Hell, you don't do nothing for black people if you black. So why was he supposed to? You ready to rumble? You ready to rumble? 2 terms. Biden couldn't get 2 terms. Trump, he did do something for America. You are a lie. You are a lie. You just didn't like the things he did. Yeah, you wanted to say black people. Shit, what have you done for black people? Not a motherfucking thing. Yeah. Yeah, you better tread lightly. Black people always want somebody to do something, and you ain't did nothing yourself. Hell, Trump did something for you. He allowed for y'all to steal, manipulate the paperwork and get them PPP loans. Now they putting y'all asses in jail. Obama did do stuff for us. You're a lie. That's why he got 2 offers. He got back to back. Yeah. We too busy stuck on he ain't do nothing for black people. He ain't do nothing for black people. Sounds stupid as hell. You can't even stop black people from killing one another. I mean, just crazy as hell. Yeah, you probably one of the ones who voted for Trump, thinking that you was gonna get another PPP loan. See, he the only president that done something for black people. He got your ass to fake paperwork. He got your ass to be on the lookout, the FBI federal lookout. Yeah, for fraud. That's what he did for you. Yeah. That's what he did. Yeah. And now he want us to pay his debt for them fake PPP loans. Mad at James because she busted him on a lot of that fraudulent stuff. Yeah. I mean, she cranked that up. He or she cranked 3 wives. Yeah. You're a part of that cult. You cult-minded. Every time he tried to do something, they shot him down. Every time Trump do something he shouldn't be doing, they let it go through. You better go play somewhere safe, boo. Yeah, I don't go along to get along. I come with reality and facts. And since y'all want to say I'm old, I've seen the difference. I know what's going on. Yeah, you better sit back. Yeah, and pray he let you get your food stamps. Shit. I'm wrong for that. I don't know if I apologize for that. But come on, if y'all think he done something for you, I know y'all feeling funny that he couldn't out Section 8 saying you got to get a job and no food stamps, and if you got more than 2 kids, you should have got off your back. You was fucking too much and you had too many kids, so there need to be a cutoff limit. You need to learn how to. If he can't pull out, you need to learn how to move real quick to the left or to the right. Get that thing up out you. Yeah, you pull it out. Yeah, when they stop, yeah, folks. Prime Minister. You said, let's go, AunTeaFee. Let's go with them 4 baby daddies. If it don't apply, let it fly. If you know I ain't lying, make better choices. But y'all not going to keep putting that on Obama. I ain't going to let you. I am not going to let you. We are not going to act like. And it really wasn't us. They wanted him in office. I don't know when y'all going to wake up and smell the tea, the coffee. Yeah. They wanted him in there. Yeah. She came to the wrong channel. Janet, I was trying to get up out of here. I am sick of people pointing the finger and having bad things to say about people who really was trying to have everybody's back. He was on equality. That's what he was on. And if equality, again, gave rights or protected all the people, again, I'm going to say regardless of who they slept with, because if we're going to attack that, we can attack that. People wanted him to be God. He not like Trump. He was not trying to take on responsibilities that was not in his duties. And he said that my job title did not include me being judge of somebody's sin. That ain't what he was supposed to do. So if equality fell on the laps of equality for all people, then let the chips fall where they may. And why should we be upset that same-sex relationship got rights? Hell, because truth be told, y'all ready? Y'all ready for the truth? Because the truth gonna set y'all free. Some of the ones that's complaining about, oh, he gave LBGT people rights. Well, hell, a majority of y'all are LBGT. Y'all just in the closet. Or y'all don't know y'all men was sleeping with men in jail. And hell, meeting up with them now while they out. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, Auntie. Oh, Lord. AunTeaFee, what you say? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Y'all don't want to talk about the fact that y'all, some of these females sleep with females, but then act like they ain't gay. What's the difference? Yeah. So don't come over here with that bull crap, because I'm going to hurt your feelings. I'm going to hurt your feelings. I'm going to hurt your feelings. I'm sick of y'all letting the predators get away. You don't want me to talk about the predators. So you came over here, yeah, thinking you was going to throw my, your feelings hurt. There ain't nowhere in the world you should have brought Obama up in here in this conversation about predators. You're a predator. Yeah. Don't come over here. I'm for victims. And I'm always rock with victims. Ain't nothing you can say. And that's whatever victim. Yeah, that's just bottom line. I'm gonna hurt your feelings. Okay, Janet, somebody in another sector say, she don't let Laquita come out on her channel. Can you let them know Laquita do come out over here? Every now and again, Laquita will come out. And messing with victims will get it brought to you. Well, will you let them know? T-Sip was, will you let them folk know that Laquita will come out and cut a rug and get you right on together? Like on the way in, Maybelline here. Hey, Maybelline, come on, Laquita. Come on through. Let her through. Laquita, bring that ass on up in here. Straighten. Somebody in here needs a straightening. Come on through, Laquita. Come on through. Yeah, we're not going to do that. I'm going to always go hard. And you, whether it's Epstein, which y'all trying to cover, and I'm going to come in and remind y'all about Obama. Yeah, and if I have to remind some of y'all that y'all go both ways. Yeah. So what's the difference in LBGT? I may not be getting them initials right. Yeah. So equality is equality. Now, your old pedo partner, Trump, he want y'all black folk to be erased. Oh, you didn't hear me. Now y'all want equality. Oh, I heard somebody say, well, if they try to open up for a third term, Obama need to apply again. Ain't that a beep? Beep. Ain't that a beep? Where? What? What? Yeah, they asses is in the closet. And some of them, if you go into some of these platforms and listen, they not even in the closet. They'll tell you they like women sometimes and men. They're not in the closet. So how can you be complaining about Obama opened it up for those initials? What's the difference? There is no difference, especially to a straight person. There ain't no difference. What's the difference? But equality is equality for all people. We the people. We the people. And that's what Obama was about. And guess what? Right now, we need somebody who's going to stand on real business. And these crooked ass electives need to be in prison for life. He didn't judge people, a prime minister, and he damn sure didn't steal from us. He did not create wars on U.S. soil. You see what I'm saying? He didn't do that. He didn't do that. Now we got a man who visualized getting in the plane and dropping instead of shit bombs on the people. He really wanted to drop bombs. So he said, well, hell, since I can't drop bombs, I might as well shit on them. It started out a whole turd and ended up diarrhea when it hit him. What type of president is that? I ain't heard nothing about taking no bribes. I just haven't. And I know they despised him enough that if he had really done something wrong, they would have really wore him out. They up here talking about his wife is a man. They talking about he gay, but they predators. What is FDT? Oh, Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm just saying. American is the laughest. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now you got U.S. citizens trying to go to foreign places. I'm telling y'all why y'all all up in Trump and I've been all up in kids. Y'all better get up out that man's ass. Ain't no telling what type of parasites up in there. He fuck with kids. All type of demonic spirits. Hell, you know. Yeah, y'all play with too many spirits for me. You know, they tell you when you lay with a person, you bring on they energy, and if his energy is about playing with kids, being destructive and a thief, an enemy of the United States, yeah. 2 victims was 11. Wow. Yeah, y'all better leave me alone for Laquita head start spinning around like that little girl on The Exorcist and floating up off the bed. Y'all better leave me alone playing with kids, baby. I agree, a prime minister, but it won't let me show. You better make your O's in that pedo. Make that a 0. Make it a 0, so it'll let it come through. And flip your eyes upside down and make them exclamation marks. That's the trick to them. When y'all don't see y'all messages, y'all don't put some bad words in there where it catches them. So make your O's 0s and make your eyes exclamation marks and your E's, if need be, 3s. That's the way to make stuff not get caught up and censored. What dear Julia? Even Ivanka wasn't my daughter. I probably that. Oh yeah. And then when he had his granddaughter on the golf course, Lord, baby, leave that little girl alone. Yeah, so anything pertaining to sex and pedos and stuff, make them E's 3s. Flip them eyes upside down and your O's make them 0s. Because Prime Minister, they keep holding all of your wording. Y'all gonna let me go? Y'all ain't gonna even tell y'all how many likes I have, because I be mad at my damn self for still being on here, and I done already told y'all I was finna go. And then old flower girl, what was her name? Who was that came in here and got Laquita on out the baby? Talking about out the closet. A southern breeze. Shit, you better go on with that stupid stuff. I'm sick of folks lying, deflecting and depleting. Okay, Tony, Lynn, what you say? 170 billion to our under Obama. Here you go. Says who? First of all, says who? Second off, for what? Folk kill me. Y'all kill me. Y'all act like there was not already negotiations in play before a new president comes in office. Y'all kill me acting like y'all don't know pre-existing deals. Hey, Brian. Y'all kill me not knowing nothing, but think you know everything. You don't have no idea. United States was effed up before. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why, if memory serves you, because see, a lot of y'all wasn't even paying attention. A lot of y'all don't have no earthly idea. A lot of y'all don't realize that a new president have no idea what they walked into, and it's already a mess when they walk into it. And it take almost 2.5, 3 years to try to clean up the prior president's mess and bullcrap. Y'all have, and then having to get shit passed through Senate and Congress. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But how about this? Let's bounce this ball. Let's bounce this ball. When Trump came in the first go around, Obama had the U.S. in great shape. Had a binder on the desk that damn near had it played for him perfectly if he'd have followed it. Just like, let me tell you a prime example. Judge Aaron, when he went through and laid it out perfectly, where there should have been no misunderstanding. It was perfectly clear. But just like Trump had a different agenda, everything that Obama had in place that was making America move smoothly going forward, he dismantled it on purpose. Same way they did with Diddy's case. Same way they did it with Judge Aaron. They went in and dismantled the verdict. They insist on not following his instructions. Same thing. So when he said, it wasn't running good, it wasn't just this, that, and the other, with Obama, no, you wanted to say that because you had a plan. And guess what? Because he undid what Obama had already laid out because of his greatness. Absolutely. Because they got his ass out and he created the insurrection because he fucked up so bad. Hello. Was that a good example, y'all? Was that good enough for you? I didn't have to get too ugly. Liquidity didn't have to go too bad. I don't know. Was that clear enough for you? Okay. Yeah. And then here come Biden. Coming in, trying to clean up all that bull crap of shit that Trump left. That he knew wasn't nobody gonna be able to try to figure that crap out. You know why? Because it was in Trump terms. So what is this? So where it normally takes 2 to 3 years to fix that mess, hell, Biden couldn't do it in 4. Because it was that screwed up. Because Trump had so many deals of corruption and theft that there was no way for somebody to figure that crap out. And that's why he said, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. And he created a war at the Capitol. Same thing he doing on the U.S. streets right now. Yeah. Is your picture better now? Can y'all see a little clearer? So when he's saying this time, I ain't leaving. I'm going to mess up the White House. I'm going to make it Trump House. White House is Trump House. It's the Trump House because I ain't going this time. I got the Supreme Court. I got Congress. I got it lined up. I ain't following no rules. And by the time it's over, I'm going to have Qatar push a button and we on our way to this fake new Israel. We rewriting the Bible. Everybody change their names. What y'all saying? Alina, I don't think that's what it was. I think it was too much other stuff going on that Trump had left that was all over the place. Did nobody have time for them Epstein files? Hell, did we prosecute her? Is the last person in jail? Okay, let's go. Ain't nobody got time for that. And he done left the U.S. in disarray. Yeah, so he knew that. Only person that had it easy in the transition was Trump coming behind Obama. And he said no. And he knocked it over. I'm going to do it my way. No. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. And if they don't stop his ass now, we're going to be butt broke. I mean, not that butt broke. Well, maybe, because he want to send people to these foreign countries, you know, and before you know it, by the time they get them over to Israel, they're going to be Hebrew slaves, where they can do whatever they want to, torture, beat, and slave them out. I'm shocked y'all not seeing the big picture here. I'm just so shocked. And that's why it fascinates me to hear people say, oh, she's talking conspiracy. Oh, okay. Okay. You say so. I've been pretty on point on a lot of things. It may have taken it a little time to get there, but it dang sure got there. Yeah, I'm telling y'all what they're doing. Okay, Harris was a threat. Who's Harris? Oh, yeah, okay. And she was black. They're a bunch of hypocrites, people. JD's wife is not American. Deport Trump. What's his Patel? His girlfriend ain't either. They say she a spy. Mrs. Harris didn't have enough time to develop her platform. Well, I think where she took it for granted is that y'all should have known what they was getting. And it's like, what? What? This is like Hillary. What? Y'all know this man is a con artist. He's a convicted felon. But I guess they say, hell, we apists. So can we really talk about him being a convicted felon of sex crimes? And hell, we do it too. Come on, Laquita. Girl, was that Laquita? That was AunTeaFee. Yeah, because Laquita just be, that was an AunTeaFee. Yeah. That's why it was okay. I mean, the more we talk about and find out everything that was going on, that's why they looked over him being a convicted felon of XXX crimes, because majority of them are on the list and are involved in this cult, this XXX trafficking human, or they are participants, or they have a membership where when they tell their wife they going to the resort on the golf trip, they in there taking advantage of minors. She came out today. Yeah, she don't pop that. Yeah, yeah. She sure came out today. I asked the girl or whatever it was she sure this what she want? I tried to be nice. You know when they start saying, girl, this ain't what you want. You sure? You sure? Biden didn't know what the fuck. Yeah, he didn't know what to do. Congress in there too. Well, she dang sure said the cabinet. Congress is about. And I hate to say this because girl was talking about us. You know what I mean? Y'all kill me. I always want to find something wrong with a brother, a good brother. If they could have slid any negative on Obama, they would have. So then they lay off of it, and then the black people come in. He ain't do nothing for black people. If I can't, she said, Miss Tom said, if you can't be nice, be Laquita. I love my T Simples, baby. If you can't be nice, be Laquita. I mean, but it was funny to hear somebody in the Mode 3 sector say, AunTeaFee, Laquita don't pop out on her own platform. I was laughing my butt off. I said, not often to myself. I was saying, not often, boo, but she done showed up and showed out before. They know Laquita. She was trying to come out yesterday about them likes. Y'all know she was trying to come out. She was trying to come out about them likes, boo. She wasn't. Laquita was about to shut the piano top down about them likes yesterday. And then she went quiet on y'all. Yeah, listen, Miss Tom. To thy own self be true. I am not in denial. To my cancer, Leo boo boo. I know what's in me. Yeah. And if I'm telling you to chill and my tone start changing, you might want to chill. Cause I ain't, I ain't wrapped too tight and I ain't in denial about it. And sometimes I can't control that thing. So sometimes you just might need a treatment. Yeah. Yeah. And when Laquita started passing out treatments, old girl said anybody can get it. Oh my God. Y'all listen, with everything going on right now, I'm glad we can still laugh because I was a little upset, about everything that's going on and how this young lady was taken advantage of, and then how Trump is still playing in our face. You have the nerve to be having temper tantrums because 7 million people rose up against you. So you all in your funky feelings like somebody done you wrong when you done turned on the U.S. Like ain't nobody gonna call you out and show you we sick of you. Even the ones that tried to have your back on the coup. Yeah, everybody's sick of you. Yeah. So now you over there trying to put somebody ass on punishment and you walking around with children's DNA on your pallywhacker. If you don't sit your dirty dick ass down, you should be resigning. If you ain't got enough by now, shame on you. It's time for your ass to go. And I need for Congress, everybody need to rise up against him. Shout out to California for filing charges on him. Now he's saying he need 230 million. For what? Fucking up the U.S.? Nigga, boy, man. Laquita, huh? Oh, okay, well, when we say it don't mean what it mean when they said, hell, everybody. It's not a race thing with us. Yeah, it's a race thing with them. It ain't a race thing with us. It's an attitude. It's a disposition. It's a check mark with us. You better check yourself. So when we say it's to anybody. It ain't about your race. Yeah, it's about the treatment you finna get. Yeah, so shout out to California. Let me land this plane, y'all. I done been up in the air for a while. I was supposed to been gone from y'all an hour ago, and y'all still didn't get the likes up where they supposed to be. Let's finish this off, because he said that California done brought Trump up on charges. And that's when old girl started talking about, oh girl, oh boy, Southern Breeze. I don't know. It could have been somebody in the middle.
If at all.
Brought Obama up in here. And Obama didn't have nothing to do with none of this. Yeah, let's end this plane. Let's go.
From an act of conduct.
And I need 20 likes before, yeah. So they done broke it down. All that is up to interpretation, like folk is slow and dumb. Yeah. And then now they done found out that these, I tried to tell them, did I not tell them that what's her district attorney, not district attorney, attorney general, that she was gonna be just like, what's that lady name? Giovanni, Rudy, brought up on charges and losing his license, barred, when it's all said and done. Okay, you'll be back later. All right, bye, Mrs. Tom. When it's all said and done for breaking the law for Trump, and he gonna throw your ass up under the bus. Yeah.
Practices, the federal government determines that an exporter to this country has engaged in unfair trade practices.
Hit the like button.
Pricing below actual cost, for example, in an attempt to specifically undermine producers of that good in the United States. In cases like that, which are rare.
Finesse 2 times, he on his way back to the federal penitentiary, ain't he?
Anti-dumping penalties. That is the principal tool presidents have used to combat unfair trade practices that violate some trade agreements that we already have in place.
He asked me to unblock him. I did, but he ain't dropped down. I need for him to try to drop down.
Carefully. The lawsuit quotes language from the House of Representatives defining the dimensions of an emergency under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Quote, emergencies are by their nature rare and brief and are not to be equated with normal ongoing problems. Normal ongoing problems would be smuggling drugs into this country, smuggling fentanyl into this country, kind of drugs that have been smuggled in this country for all of our lives. Through the entire history of this country, there's been smuggling into this country. And there is another piece of the law that Donald Trump is pretending to use to raise tariffs, which he is very clearly violating. The lawsuit accurately says that the law provides that the president, in every possible instance, shall consult with the Congress before exercising any of the authorities granted by this
chapter, breaking the law,
and shall consult. We created so many manufacturing jobs. California is our biggest manufacturing state. California the biggest manufacturing state in the country, not Michigan, where the auto industry created so many manufacturing jobs. California is our biggest manufacturing state. California is also our biggest agricultural state. Not Iowa, not Nebraska, California, biggest agricultural state in the country. California's economy is bigger than the economy of every foreign country in the world except China, Germany, and Japan. And so, no state.
What would you do if an EMP killed all electronics? Your vehicle has stopped.
Has bigger stakes in the burdens imposed by Donald Trump's illegal tariffs than California.
No state is poised to
Let's go, Governor Newsom.
lose more than the state of California. So that's our state of mind. And that's why we're asserting ourselves on behalf of 40 million Americans. And I imagine if you caucus those 40 million Americans, you'd find few, I don't care where they were in the last election, that are celebrating this uncertainty, that are celebrating the largest tax increase in modern U.S. history. In essence, a sales tax.
That is the plaintiff, Gavin Newsom, in the lawsuit California filed against Donald Trump today, announcing that lawsuit.
Shout out to
And
California.
here's the lawyer who filed that case, announcing the lawsuit this morning in the Central Valley of California with the governor, America's biggest agricultural basin. The Attorney General.
Okay, well, there we go.
of the state of
California has filed suit against Donald Trump today. Yeah, I'll be back later. Bye.